Good morning to this class where we will focus on twisting. Twisting is one way we can tune into our core, we can strengthen our core, and we can also release and let go of what our body doesn't need. So, for props today, if you have a yoga block or maybe a big stack of dictionaries and encyclopedias, I don't know, something maybe 4 to 6 inches high, that'd be great for stability. It can be great when we kind of ground down with one hand and lift up with the other, and it can really help us get a little bit deeper into our twist. And other than that, I can't really think of anything. We'll go back and we'll get started in child's pose, and we'll do a twisting variation there. So you can position your legs however it is nice for you, whether that's really wide or more narrowly. And I also encourage you to play with different styles, especially if you have, a solid, consistent practice. Sometimes we can get ourselves into trouble by doing the same thing too much, right? So kind of being open to that change. And then in the twist, I'm going to thread my right arm under my left. And then I want my right shoulder to come down to something. So I could use a prop if my torso was still fairly lifted. And then I'm going to let my left arm just kind of be lazy, rest wherever. I like to kind of point it back in the other direction so it gives me something to rest my head on. All right, and then we'll switch sides. I'll extend my right arm out, thread the left arm under, bring the left shoulder down, and rest my head somewhere. And then we'll stay in child's pose. Extend the arms far forward so that they're straight, and then bring both hands over to the left, coming into a side bend, opening up the right side body. And then you can toe heel the palms over to the other side. All right, come back from neutral. Lift the hips and come into a tabletop. And let's move the spine, our flexion and extension. Go nice and easy, just warming things up. It can actually hurt our twisting form if we're too mobile in our spine as well, kind of both ends of the spectrum. The body will have a tendency to fall into flexion or extension while we're twisting. We kind of always want to keep that neutral. So it's nice to just kind of feel what extension feels like when we're in flexion. Feel what extension feels like when we're in cow. Flexion, extension. All right, come back to neutral, and then let's take a dog pose with really bent knees. And with really bent knees, you can start to walk your dog, where you lift one heel and then the other. And then come back to still in your down dog and release. Send the hips up and back. We'll extend the right leg, bend the right knee, and open the hip to the right. Both feet down, left leg up, bend, and open the hip. All right, back to our dog pose. And we're gonna come into our hanging plank. We'll bring our right knee in towards our chest as we let the torso come forward, and we'll step the right foot forward, step the left knee down. As you inhale, reach the hands up, and exhale, hands to heart. Now we're gonna do a very subtle twist here as we turn to the right, or maybe we'll go to 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. Now, you want your legs to stay in that neutral forward facing. Now notice your core and your torso here as you breathe and strengthen that midsection. And then we'll untwist out. We'll bring the hands down and we'll get ready for a standing leg split. So can be nice to have blocks under either hand. Left toes will tuck, left knee lifts, and then left leg's flying as you use those blocks under your hands for stability. Now we'll stay here for a few breaths as you try to heighten your back of your right hip to the ceiling. All right, something I like to say, imagine that you're trying to slide a piece of paper between your right hip and your right leg. So just trying to create a little more space there. Keep nice and strong in the lifted leg too. See if you can really hug the muscle to the bone to get that lifted leg as straight as possible, flexing the foot, reaching through the heel. And then to dismount, we'll bend both knees, soften as we come into our forward fold, let the head go and shake it out. Walk both hands over to the right. Walk both hands over to the left. As you come back through center, rise up slowly, find your mountain. Inhale, reach the hands up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then back down we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold and bring the left leg back, knee down. Just one breath here, reach up. And then you can move to your dog pose as you breathe out. The left leg will come into that what am I trying to call? Come into plank with the left leg pulling into your chest. Step the left foot forward, bring the right knee down. We'll inhale the arms up and then exhale the hands to heart center. And then as we twist here, going to maybe 11 or 10 o'clock. Tuning back into that core. Untwist, hands will come down, find the blocks. Our standing leg split. The right knee will lift, the right foot will fly. All right, giving our attention to both legs here first. That standing leg growing longer in that left hip and growing stronger in that back right leg. And soften to fold. It can be really nice as you're in your forward fold when you go to one side to use your blocks. And as you go to one side, let's say I'm going to the right now, I really reach with my left arm. And then as I come back to center and I go over to the left, I'll really reach with my right arm. And I find neutral. I soften and round up and reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Now in this standing position, let's try an Om, right? We'll prepare by inhaling and then exhale all the breath you can. And then we'll inhale to Om. Right, letting the breath clear the clutter with the vibration, focusing the mind. When you're ready, inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, fold in half and bring the right leg back with the knee down. One breath, one movement as we reach up. And as we breathe out, we go to dog. And dog pose. Inhale, look forward, soften the legs, and come to your halfway lift as you step to the top of your mat. Now this is going to be a nice form for some of the poses that we do a little later. So we'll spend a few minutes here. Soft knees, glutes and hips really hugging in, right? Feel your quadriceps working. Kind of have to work extra hard on this pose to make sure the muscles are on and we're not just kind of camping out in our joints. The palms will press into the shin as you lift, right, the crown of the head forward and away, nice and long. Right, feel that nice, neutral, supported spine and how difficult that can be when we're against gravity. On your next exhale, forward fold. Here, maybe start to engage the legs a little bit more to open up the back line if you're feeling warmed up. Soften the knees to rise, to stand and reach. And we're back to our mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Come to your halfway lift. Remember, strong and supported. See if you can keep your torso this upright as you step back to plank. Maybe it's helpful to bring blocks under your hands. Keep that chin off the chest, right? Always looking forward. Strong legs. Maybe the knees tap down. And then we'll lower a little bit or all the way, whatever you prefer. Come into your back bend, knees bent, legs engaged. And then we send the hips back to our table and find our dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your mat. Find that halfway lift again. Forward fold. Rise to stand. Mountain pose. All right, we'll begin again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Gazing forward, nice and strong. We lower. We take our back bend, strong legs, gaze to the horizon or up. And then we come through table and find that dog. All right, a little twisting in our dog pose here. I recommend bringing your hands to the ground as you walk them back a little bit closer to your feet. So you're in kind of a much more narrow dog pose than you normally would. And your legs might have to be bent here considerably, and that's okay. The right hand will reach over for the left calf as I gaze under my left armpit. Stay nice and strong and rooting down in that left hand. And then we'll switch sides. The right hand comes to the mat. The left hand reaches over to the right calf and I gaze underneath the right armpit. Both hands down. Walk back to your regular dog, maybe coming back onto the blocks. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to stand. And mountain. Okay, so we'll move into some sun salutation B's where we'll add either a warrior one or crescent lunge, and we'll do some twisting from there. Now, if it bothers you to have the heel up in a crescent lunge variation where the heel is lifted, it's too much on the toes, when you come to twist, it could be a little bit challenging to do that in a warrior one style. So know that you can always bring the knee down and untuck if that's an issue. Okay. Cease demo, and we're gonna start with our chair pose. So bring the legs together or hug a block in between the thighs. And as you inhale, sit back and reach forward, maybe a little up. Engage the arms, right? It's okay that we're not reaching up to the sky. It's okay that we're reaching forward, but in whichever direction that feels comfortable to reach, turn on the muscles. So we're really reaching, reach to the fingertips. Next, exhale, bow. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Move toward plank. Hearts forward as we prepare. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, we back bend. Exhale, we move to dog. Now in dog, we'll extend the right leg back and up. Come into the hanging plank, there's that word. Step the right foot forward and come up for your warrior one or your crescent lunge variation. Whatever you like to do. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart. Then we're gonna pitch the torso forward, right? Still neutral spine, I'm just flexing at the hips, right? So chest is nice and wide. And then I'm gonna turn to the right. My left elbow will hook to the outside of my right knee. As my palms press together and my thumbs come to my sternum, I'll gaze over the right shoulder. Now, back knee can come down and untuck if you need to. Now we'll come out of this twist. Come back up to your crescent lunge or your warrior one. Release the hands beside you. As you inhale, reach up. As you exhale, bring both hands down to the mat or block on either side of your right foot. Back knee is lifted. Left palm will reach down. Right arm reaches high. Now for this open up variation, you want to imagine that your left shoulder is really free from your left ear. And you're creating a nice straight line between your left palm and your right palm. So a lot of people reach actually too far back. Keep that right thumb right in your peripheral. Hugging the outer hips to keep a strong lower body. And then we'll move to our plank from here. Both hands come down, right foot steps back, knees could drop as we lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, dog. Left leg backing up. Hanging plank. Getting ready for our crescent or warrior one as we come up. Inhale, hands reach. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to hinge forward with my neutral spine, and I'm going to twist with my right elbow connecting outside to the left knee. My palms press, and I'm aiming my thumbs towards my sternum. It might not happen, that's okay. Back knee can come down. And then as we untwist, come back to our crescent lunge or our warrior. Release the hands beside you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat or block. Prepared for our open arm twist. The right arm down, the left arm high. Free that right shoulder from the right ear. Keep that left hand right above the right. And release. We'll go to plank from here. Both hands down, left foot back. Knees could tap. Exhale when you lower. Take your back bend. Move to child's pose. Rest the head down. All right, come up to your table and find your dog pose from there. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your mat. And we'll come to our halfway lift. Prepare for chair. As you exhale, sit back, reach forward. As you inhale, stand tall. Hands by your side. Okay, now we're going to try prayer twist, which is in our chair pose, right? So we'll bring our legs together. I want to sit back into chair, keeping the knees back so they're not going forward of the toes. Reach the arms forward. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll twist, we'll twist to the right and see if you can get that left elbow to hook on the outer right knee as you sit back for chair. And same thing as before, palms press, and we try to get those thumbs to our sternum, but we also don't want that right knee to sneak forward of the left, right? So not letting the lower body twist. And then release into your forward fold. And we'll take a little clearing. We'll take our Padagusthasana variation where we take our peace fingers, interlace it around your toes with really bent knees. Find a little halfway lift. And then bend the elbows wide. Be easy with the neck and shoulders. And release. Bring the toes back together to touch. Sit back for your chair. Bring the hands to the heart center. And when you're ready, we'll twist left. The right elbow can hook outside the left knee. Left knee, our right knee is back. Thumbs to heart. And forward fold. So you can do the same forward fold variation that you have been doing, the one we did before, or I'll throw out something else. This is gorilla pose, where the palms slide underneath the feet. The feet step onto the palms all the way up to the wrist creases. This is a really nice massage for our feet. Once you get set up, let go of the head and then pull the elbows wide. And release, soften the legs coming up to a stand. All right, we're gonna work some balance twisting poses. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to recommend that you hold two of your blocks, right, in this orientation, right? So if they're facing down, they're kind of hanging the long way. And from our mountain pose, we'll go ahead and step the right foot back, and you're in more of a narrow warrior one type stance with your front leg straight, right? Or straight-ish, right? Not locked out. And then we want to square the hips. So we use our outer hip muscles to do that. And then we'll come forward by hinging, but long spine, right? Just hinging at the hips, not rounding. And we'll bring the blocks to the ground, either side of that front left foot. Now, bring the right block, position it so that your right hand is right underneath your nose, right? The top of your right hand, and bring the left hand to your hip. Now this elbow, as we twist, as we root down with this right hand, we're going to open the chest towards the left, and the left elbow will help guide us some. Maybe if you're opening up where it feels comfortable, the left arm could reach up towards the ceiling. Reverse namaste twist. And then it can be nice to practice with different gazes. I find looking up to be harder. And when you're ready, you can untwist, and then from here, step to a fold and bow. And then soften to rise. Maybe you bring your blocks with you. And we'll do that to the other side. The right leg will be the front leg as I step back to a more narrow warrior one type shape. Hugging the hips, this front leg is fairly straight. I'm going to hinge at the hips, keeping my neutral spine. Blocks on either side of the right foot. Nice strong base, really rooting in with that right toe mound. Right? The ball of the right foot. I'm going to bring the left block to position right underneath my nose. Bring my right hand to my right hip. And then I start twisting a little bit to the right, being guided by that right elbow. Maybe the right hand reaches. And release, step to your fold, and bow. All right, come on up to stand. And then we'll do one more twisting balance pose. So we'll start in our mountain, but with our feet a little bit close together. And if you'd like, you can rest the right hand to something for balance. We're going to lift the right leg so that it's bent, right? The knee doesn't need to be much higher than the hip though, right? And a little softness to the standing knee. The right hand will come to the left hand will come to the right knee or the outer right thigh, whatever feels nice for you. And then we'll gaze over our right shoulder as that right hand reaches back, maybe still stabilizing you on the wall or whatever you're holding on to, or maybe it frees itself and it's just reaching back behind as your gaze follows. And then when you're ready, release. This is a modified Padangusthasana 3. Imagine that with a straight leg, right? Which you can play around with that, maybe after class. We'll go to the other side. I'll switch sides, so my left hand is stabilizing me. My left leg lifts. My right hand reaches over for my left knee or my outer right thigh. And then I keep that left leg from twisting. As I turn my torso, my left arm guides me back. Maybe I free it from the wall and reach back. And then release. Shake it out. Okay, we're gonna come right down for some seated postures. Sit on a little blanket as we come to butterfly. Bottoms of the feet come together. And we create a strong external rotation by using our glutes, turning on the muscles of the legs to help us deepen the pose and also stabilize our spine. And then we flex with a long spine here. When you're ready, come on up. And we'll go ahead and extend the right leg out. Keep the left leg in butterfly. Angle the torso towards that extended right leg as the left arm reaches over. And that will flex the spine as well as the hips. Still keeping the strong core and the strong legs. And then we'll come up to switch sides. Left leg extends, right leg comes back into butterfly. I angle my torso and I bow, opposite hand reaching over as I round my spine, flex my hips, and angle my forehead toward my knee. And we'll come on up, extend both legs out. We'll bend the right knee and have the right foot hop to the other side of the left leg if that feels okay. And then the bottom leg bends and that left foot comes back to the right hip. I'm going to sit up nice and tall as I twist over to the left. And maybe you take a little bit of a deeper twist with that left arm coming up and over the right thigh if that feels okay. And remember, we're not flexing, we're not side bending, we're not extending, we're keeping torsion or twisting, but else the spine is pretty neutral. Really tune into your breath, your strong breath and your strong core to help you stay and feel into the pose a little more. And we'll untwist and switch it out. My left leg will bend, comes to the opposite side of my right leg, which will bend and the foot comes back towards the left hip. Sitting up nice and tall, long neutral spine, and then I add in my torsion. Maybe the right arm comes up and over. And untwisting. All right, we're gonna move on down to our back. And let's go ahead and find waterfall. So we'll take a block, place it underneath the back of the hips, let the legs dangle up, keep the arms in a position that feels restful. Let the knees bend and let the thighs come towards the torso. And then the legs will come down and you can set the block aside. All right, we'll come into a little variation of a twist here. So starting from half corpse, I'll bring my hips a little bit over to the left. I'm gonna bring my left leg into my chest and I'm gonna extend my right leg long. Allow my right hand guide my left leg across my side body. Opening up and see, play with the balance of keeping the left shoulder back and that part of the torso open, and also going, as deep as you like with the bent knee, right, with our left knee. Might mean that you support it, putting something under it. And then come onto your back. Pretty much what we did in our standing variation, right? So I'll bring my hips over to the right. I bring my right knee into my chest, my left leg long. My left hand guides my right leg across the body. All right, come back to neutral. Find half corpse or find Shavasana. And we'll rest here for a few moments. Start to bring a little bit of movement to your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take some hugs and rocks. When you're ready, you can roll on up to a seat, standing nice and tall. Sit anywhere that's comfortable. And let's say it was a little bit of a quicker class today, so let's end with a little bit of a brief meditation. Let's close the eyes or focus the gaze. Breathe in through the nose and draw the breath down to the lowest part of your belly, and let your belly gently fall as you breathe out. And just keep going with that rhythm.